what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Transformative Thoughts. My name is Kenny. Now for today's video, it's going to be an early one today. Okay, unfortunately I have to go out tonight. Normally I would like to record my thoughts in the evening because I get to go through the entire day to process the information that I receive from the day and just share a thought with you guys that was the most prominent. However, for today's conversation, I'm going to follow up with previous videos in terms of my profession and what I currently do, and also a follow-up to yesterday's video regarding building a brand and the importance of putting out content, the importance of crafting my voice, my messaging, understanding what my values are, and then communicating that to the audience. Okay, so I'm going to work on that. Now, for today's video, right, I spoke about the profession. When you are the player playing the character, you get to choose what profession you want to go down. And for me, it was entrepreneurship. It was to be an entrepreneur, and that's the path that I'm currently walking, because growing up, I've watched my parents open and close a restaurant. I've watched my brothers open their own restaurants. I've watched them get involved in the cannabis industry, okay, which I'll highlight in this conversation as well. So growing up, I was exposed to entrepreneurship. So it just made sense for me. I didn't want to go down the path that my parents wanted me to go down, which is to become a scientist, to become a doctor, to become a lawyer. My mom's goal and her vision for me when I was leaving high school, she said, go to school, learn something so that you can go get a stable office job. Sit in a cubicle. You'll get paid, you'll be secure, and you'll be fine. You'll work your way up, earn respect, get better, and you'll get paid more over time. That was the vision that she had for me. But deep down at a young age, I knew that that wasn't for me. Yet, I still did what my parents wanted me to do. The first year coming out of high school, I went to college for sciences. I went to school for biology because I believed that maybe I'll be a doctor so that I can keep my parents happy and I'll make a lot of money and I'll take care of them. After the first year, I realized that wasn't for me. So I came home at the age of 19, sitting in front of my computer, fucking crying because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I watched my friends go off into university so certain with what they were studying. I watched my friends continue to work their job from high school and making good money. And here I am sitting in front of a freaking laptop, uncertain with where my life was going. And I just remember crying. I spent the whole night, I believe it was from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. And by 12 a.m., I registered for a new schooling program, which was for marketing at a local college, okay? I went to school for marketing because after reflecting on my family's experiences, I'm like, it just makes sense. You know, I do like the idea of business. I like having conversations about business, even though I knew nothing at that time. It just felt right. It felt a lot better than going down the path of sciences or doing what my family wanted me to do. So upon enrolling for that program for marketing, right, the students get to choose between 4 categories: entrepreneurship, real estate, sales, or tourism. I leaned towards entrepreneurship because, once again, I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. Even though they weren't successful at this time of this recording, right? But I still learned from all of the mistakes that they made, and it just made sense. So going down the path of entrepreneurship was the path that I selected early on in my life at the age of 19. So at the age of 19, what year would that be? That would be 2011. So from 2011 to 2014, I was in school. I was learning about marketing. I was getting my diploma. I was getting my degree. And as soon as I finished my degree, from 2014 to 2017, I went into the corporate world. I worked 9 to 5. Went from sales job to sales job to sales job, only to realize that, fuck, I don't like this. I don't like working for someone else. I don't want to be stuck in the 9 to 5 job. So from 2014 to 2017, I found myself hopping jobs over and over and over again. I'd start a job, realize that, man, this is not what I want. I'm going to go find a new one. So I never really lasted more than 3 months for any job. Now, knowing what I know now, and reflecting on the individual that I was, how many years ago? 8 years ago, 6 years ago. When I reflect on the individual and how I was playing back then, if I had a chance to go back in time, I would stick it out. I would choose a role and I would learn as much as I can, develop my skills, develop my knowledge, gain more experience, and then go into the entrepreneurship world. The reason why I say that is because in a previous video where I said life goes full circle, where I'm finally doing what I love in the cannabis industry, I didn't get started in entrepreneurship until 2017. So that was about 6.5 years ago. It took me 5 to 6 years of uncertainty, of bashing my head into the wall to finally create the opportunity to do what I love. Because most of the time in culture and society today, they always talk about do the things you're passionate about, do the things you love most, and you'll never work a day in your life. As much as I believe that is true, if I sit here and I reflect on how my gaming experience has been so far, how life has been so far, it took me 6 years to come across the opportunity to do what I love. The first 5.5, 6 years, I wasn't doing anything that I loved. I was just learning. I was building businesses and failing them over and over again, putting myself into uncomfortable situations so that I can get to this position right now. So let me walk you through the path that I took as an entrepreneur, okay? So 2014, 2017, working in the corporate world as a sales professional, realizing that I fucking sucked at sales. I hated it, even though sales is a crucial skill. I hated it, and I was going from job to job to job. Now, there's a pattern there, the pattern of quitting, okay? And I'll demonstrate that pattern in my entrepreneurship path as well. Okay, so 2014, 2017, quitting jobs after the other. 2017, decided to go down the entrepreneurship path, decided to start my own business, which is a Facebook ads agency. So from 2017 to where we are right now, I've started and I've failed up to 5 businesses. And right now I'm on business number 7. Okay, so in 7 years, I've been involved in 7 businesses. The first business that I started in 2017 was my own Facebook ads agency. Solopreneurship, didn't know what I was doing, just wanted to get started, wanted to help clients with their marketing because I went to school for marketing, so why not take the obvious route? But I didn't know what I was doing. It's probably one of the hardest things. Just because I knew marketing didn't mean that I knew how to run a business. So 2017, first agency, okay? Immediately after that, shiny object syndrome. I just wanted a way to make money. Now that I didn't have a job, I decided to start a fulfillment by Amazon business. Didn't know anything about that either. Didn't have any capital to start that. So I started that business within 4 months, decided to stop doing it. Now, during that time, it wasn't even running a business. I was playing business. I was dabbling in things to get a feel of what I wanted to do. The third business was affiliate marketing. I started an affiliate marketing agency because my friends were making good money. They said, hey, you should probably try this and get involved. But at that time, I wasn't willing to do what they were doing. They were maxing out credit cards to make things work. And they maxed out so many credit cards, I'm told. And now they're doing really well for themselves because they stuck it out. They took the risk. They knew what they were capable of. They put in the work. And now they're succeeding in their own way. Me, on the other hand, as a business owner, started getting into it, was afraid of losing money, and then I backed out. So that's business number 3. Business number 4, I convinced a childhood friend to partner up together, incorporate together, which was a huge mistake, on an agency together because we were doing the same thing. We figured why not join forces and do it together. And after a year, I was the one that walked away from that partnership. I left him with all of the paperwork. I left him with all of the legals, even the debts, which I'm fucking guilty of. And I've apologized to him. And I said to him, look, those were lessons that we had to learn. I apologize for what I did, and I will make up for it when I get to where I want to be. So we've made amends, but I can tell you from experience, getting into partnership with friends, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure that you both are compatible and you're both ready and prepared to do that, and don't act on emotions, because at that time, we started the business based on emotions. I asked him 3 to 4 times for him to finally say yes. And when he said yes, I had the audacity to just walk away after a year. So I felt a lot of guilt for that. We stopped talking for about 2 years. And because after 2 years of maturing ourselves and going through life ourselves, we finally got back together, had a conversation, and we're best friends. So that whole experience taught us a lot about ourselves individually. So that was my fourth business. When I walked away from that fourth business, the partnership with my friends, I was picked up by another individual here in Australia who saw that I was desperate for an opportunity, and he picked me up. He said, "Hey, I have a business idea. How about you help me build this business?" Now, to me, that felt a lot better because A, I didn't own the business. All I had to do was put in the work and get paid whenever I got paid. So for 2.5 years, I worked on that business. I helped him grow that business. I helped him get it to a stage where, we're marketing and building a community. This was a business community group, okay? It was a group, but he wanted to call it a business. But I built the entire thing, right? I built the entire thing. I started to develop myself a little bit more, started to work on my health, started to become more aware, started to learn more about self-development, only for me to realize that this guy has been manipulating me the entire time. He's been leveraging the fact that I didn't have any opportunity. So he was leveraging my time, leveraging my expertise, and he used me. He used me to build up the business, and I realized that he was using other people as well. So until I became aware of that, I had to learn how to strategically get myself out of that position. And eventually I left. I left everything that I built. I asked for equity. They didn't want to give me any equity because literally I built that business from the ground up. Him providing the vision, me providing the implementation. So I felt like maybe I should ask for some form of equity if he's truly committed to this partnership. And I realized that he wasn't. He just wanted to use me for my time to build up what he wanted to build up, and then I guess treat me as another freaking resource. So until I noticed that, during that time of me working with him, I was introduced to several other people, which led to the opportunity that I'm doing right now. So from working with my former business partner, my friend, we met this guy from Australia. When I left the partnership with my friends, this guy from Australia picked me up to work with him. I came to Australia. I got to meet his network. I got to meet some people that he's been leveraging as well. And because he's been leveraging other people, when you're the one being manipulated and you meet someone else that's being manipulated, you start to connect. You start to realize, are you experiencing the same problems that I'm experiencing with this guy? Lo and behold, we were experiencing the same problems with the same individual, and everyone that was being manipulated eventually walked away from the guy, and we started working together. And that's how I landed on the opportunity that I'm doing right now, because the sixth business that I started is a strategy and consulting business that we run and operate here in Melbourne, Australia. And we've been operating that business for about 3 years now. And from that business, created the opportunity to work with Dima and Hamad, who came to us in 2021 and said, "Hey guys, medicinal cannabis industry is evolving here in Australia. We have an opportunity to help as many patients as possible. We have an opportunity to reshape the healthcare system. We need guys who know things about technology. Are you willing to work with us? Can you help us?" It went from us being a service provider to us now being business partners together. And like I said in my video with life going full circle, now I'm in the cannabis industry. I grew up watching my brothers get involved in the cannabis industry from the illegal market at the time. I watched my dad get involved as well. I was able to see freaking grow-ups at the age of 8, 9, and 10. And I was traumatized, growing up. Because growing up, my mom told me to stay away from cannabis, stay away from drugs. Don't do what don't do what your dad and your brothers are doing. Grow up, get a stable job, make good money, and stay away from all the bad things. I thought that cannabis was a bad thing the entire time. Now, over the years, as the industry has evolved, as our government became more lenient with cannabis, my perspective and my belief towards cannabis changed, where now I'm operating in the cannabis space, but I'm rewriting the wrongs that my brothers did, rewriting the wrongs that my dad did, and I'm doing it the right way. I'm actually helping people. I'm not in it for the money, you know? So it's interesting when you talk about entrepreneurship, because when you're an entrepreneur, most people think it's just owning and operating a business. Being an entrepreneur requires you to work on all areas of your life. It took me 6 years to get to where I'm at right now. It took me 6 years to finally feel confident in what I'm doing. It took me 6 years to feel certain in what I'm doing. It took me 6 years to do something that I finally love. Where the first 6 years of being an entrepreneur, I didn't love any of the shit I was doing, but I was willing to go through it anyways because I told myself that I wouldn't go back to a 9-to-5 job. I told myself that I would not work for someone else. I don't want to be stuck in the system. I want to create my own freedom. So that's what I committed to for the last 6.5 years. I committed to the vision of not having to work for someone else, not having to work 9 to 5, not having to be stuck in the system. I'm nowhere close to where I want to be yet, but the last 6 years has developed me so that I can get to this position where I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I love what I fucking do every single day. So playing the profession as an entrepreneur is fucking hard. And it's something it's something I don't talk about often because I don't know how to talk about it, because every day is a fucking struggle. Every day you're thinking about how you're going to better serve your customers. Every day you're thinking about how you're going to get paid. Every day you're thinking about survival. That's what it's like in the beginning stages of being an entrepreneur. It's all about survival. And if you want to survive, it's survival of the fittest. You have to get better. You have to develop your skills. You have to become self-aware. You have to keep working and improving yourself. That's the only way to survive as an entrepreneur. And if you quit as an entrepreneur, the only other option you have is to go get a 9-to-5 job. Just enough to pay the bills. And that's not what I want to do. So all of this, everything that I'm going through, it's been the path that I've been walking since I was a kid. I've been observing entrepreneurship since I was a kid, through my brothers, through my parents, going to school for entrepreneurship, majored in marketing, to go into the workforce and realize that I didn't want to work a 9-to-5, which are indicators to show me that entrepreneurship is the right path. 2017, I took the dive. I jumped over the fence and I said, I'm not going back to the other side of the fence. I'm going to stay on this side. I'm going to do whatever it takes to build myself from the ground up. No matter how long it takes, that's what I'm committing to. It's been 6.5 years for me to finally feel certain in what I'm doing. Finally feel the passion and the fire within me every single day when I'm building Cannabis Warehouse. And it all goes full circle, man. I grew up being exposed to cannabis at a young age. Now at the age of 30, I'm involved in the industry and we're creating a huge impact in the space. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of what it's like so far playing the game as an entrepreneur. And it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. I'm just getting started. But this is the reality of where I'm at, and I just want to communicate that with you guys, all right? So thank you for listening. Welcome to Transformative Thoughts. This is where I talk a lot about self-development, about business, entrepreneurship, philosophy, and most importantly, spirituality, because these are the topics I'm interested in right now, and these are the topics that are shaping my character into the character that I want to become down the road. So thank you for listening. If you received any value from this, if you think someone will resonate with what I'm sharing because they are also players playing the game, feel free to share that with them. Otherwise, thank you again. I will catch you in the next video. Take care.